Welcome to Players to the Core. My name's Stephen Dawes. Thank you for joining me as always. So, bit of a saga around this. I'm sorry I didn't do a preview to the Ipswich game, but I haven't been feeling too good myself lately, so I didn't manage to do that. I did actually record a reaction video yesterday about the Ipswich game, but when I went back to edit it, the sound was absolutely awful, so I've had to do it again, which is this. So apologies, it's a bit late. But in terms of the Ipswich game, I thought it was going to be a tough game because Ipswich, they're not in the best of form, but they do work hard. They do work incredibly hard. So I knew that it was going to be a tough game. I did think that we would have enough about us to actually finish the game and get the result that we wanted. Obviously, we had a couple of enforced changes. We had Nketiah on for JP Mateta, who's still recovering from that head injury. We also had Hughes out because of a ban, so we had Jefferson Lerma and Adam Walton in the middle, which sounds like a good combination, doesn't it? I mean, on paper it certainly does anyway. And so the game started off as it kind of continued on, really, and that was with us working hard. Throughout the game we worked hard. We were trying to get the ball, we were trying to make things happen, trying to pass the ball around, trying to make situations happen, as Oliver Glasner would say. But I felt that overall throughout the game we were lacking a little bit of quality in our passing and also up front as well. It was interesting because although we were probably working as hard as we have done in previous games, our passes weren't quite reaching their target. Even Adam Walton had a couple of passes go astray. And I think Jefferson Lerma was probably the worst culprit. He went through a spell where I think 5 passes in a row didn't go to where they were intended to go to. So, and everyone was doing it. I mean, and Henderson was kicking balls out to touch and stuff like that. So it was very difficult to pinpoint a particular person because they were all doing it. And even though there was no lack of enthusiasm or lack of intensity, it was just that little bit of quality that was lacking on the day, and I'm not entirely sure what you can say was the reason behind it. Obviously JP may be an influence for them. I know there was a few passes that they did over the top for Nketiah or put forward for Nketiah to try and hold up, but that's not really part of his game. And I think maybe they were done on instinct, believing or thinking that JP was going to be there and then he wasn't. So I think they were a bit of instinctive balls that they've just got used to over the games. So maybe that wasn't a factor in it. But also I think the fact that we did miss Hughes. Walton and Lerma were good in the middle. There was nothing wrong with him, but I think he had a tenacity and a togetherness in the team, and I think that he kind of almost dominates the team in terms of telling what they need to do. So I think that perhaps we did miss those two a certain amount, but there's no getting away from the fact that our quality was a little bit low in the game against Ipswich. Now, Ipswich, to their credit, I mean, they were working really hard. They were harrying us, trying to put us off our game, as you would expect them to do. And they were intercepting a lot of our passes. So it wasn't just all the fact that we were making bad decisions. A lot of our passes were being intercepted by them as well. They were also working very hard in front of their, defending their own goal. A couple of shots that Eze had were deflected by a foot or a leg or whatever it was from an Ipswich player. A couple of them actually nearly went in the back of the net, which would have been a real fluke for us. But but the keeper did well as well. He made a number of good saves. So, overall, Ipswich did work hard to try and keep the ball out. And I think that was one of their mantras for the game, was to keep a clean sheet as long as they could, because they wanted to try and nick a goal. And yeah, they had opportunities. I mean, Dean Henderson had to make a couple of saves, but I think in general our defence wasn't too bad. I thought it worked quite hard, even though we were penned back a couple of times by Ipswich. I think that we managed to get the ball out and then try and refocus and regather our thoughts and get back into the game again. So I think overall it was a very balanced game from both teams, but I think that obviously Ipswich are lacking a little bit of quality themselves, and I think that we weren't quite on our game either, and that kind of cancelled each other out a little bit. However, we did get a goal, thankfully, at the end. A bit of luck for us, I think you could say, because the ball ricocheted off of one of their players and kind of fell into the path of Sarr, who took it on past his defender and dinked it over the keeper, which was great. It was a lovely little goal. I think Starr had worked incredibly hard in that game. You know, he was running forward, making runs at defenders, which of course unsettles them, so that was a good thing as well. And he kicked the corner post in a celebration and a tribute to JP, which was a lovely little touch as well. So yeah, we did get the goal and we did win the game in the end after another bit of a nail-biting end to the game. But you know what they say about teams who, good teams can often win a game even when they're not playing well. And I think that was what happened to us in this game. You know, we weren't playing our best, but we managed to grind out our result and get the 3 points. And I think that that's a testament to the team that we have and the camaraderie we have within the team, and the way that Oliver Glasner has set us up. You know, he set us up to be very hard to beat, and then to try and go forward and get the goals. So although we weren't quite on our game, I think it was a decent performance from us, and I think that we worked hard against what was a very hard working Ipswich team. In terms of individual players, I think they all had a pretty decent time of it. I think that Nketiah had a couple of opportunities, but I don't think he was as effective as he has been in the previous games. I was a little bit bemused in the second half because I was expecting some substitutions, and then he brought on Kamada for Nketiah, and I would have brought on someone different. I would have perhaps brought on Esse. I thought that he probably deserved to have a go. I felt that although he did come on late on, it was with a couple of minutes to go, so it wasn't really going to be able to do anything. Or Devaney. I think he would have been another good choice to bring on because he's hard-working and he loves getting forward. So to bring on Kamada, and again, he didn't play badly, but he just didn't do anything proactively, really, for me. So, I think it was probably a wrong decision, personally speaking. I would probably have loved to see Devaney out there, really. So I think that was a bit difficult to understand, but we got a result at the end of the day, and I think that that's probably the most important thing for us. Obviously, everyone's off to Marbella now for a little break and little training camp out there, and there is a game coming up on Thursday which I'm going to do a reaction to. It's going to be live on the Palace TV Plus app. So if you have access to that, you'll be able to see the game live, 3 p.m. I think it is in British time. So that's something to look forward to. I hope that you enjoyed the game, and let me know what your thoughts are of the game and everything else down in the comment section as always. Don't forget to subscribe if you've got this far, and until next time, I will see you then. Bye bye.